Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. On behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you for joining us today. It is my great honor and privilege to stand before you as the MC for today's meeting. My name is Azura, and I am delighted to guide you through the insightful and engaging event. To begin with our event today, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Lee Seng Tai, President of Malaysian Woodworking Machinery Association (MWMA), to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Chief Executive Officer of PC, Mr. Mokhtar Muhammad Yaakob, Deputy CEO MPC, Mr. Lai Liha, Director Industry Development and Transformation Division MPC, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished participants. A very warm welcome to the Industry 4.0 for Malaysia Timber Industry Advancement Conference. We are gathered here today to embark on a transformative journey into the future of Malaysia timber industry, exploring latest update in software technologies and digitalization that will undoubtedly shape the landscape of this vital sector. In an era marked by the unprecedented technological advancement, Industry 4.0 has emerged as a beacon of innovation, promising unparalleled opportunities for the growth of efficiency across various industries. Today, we focus our attention on its profound impact on the Malaysia timber industry. We are honored to have distinguished speakers from leading companies at the forefront of this revolution who will share their insight and expertise. Our first speaker, representing Regatech Sdn Bhd, will delve into the importance of Industry 4.0 and its tangible benefits for the Malaysia timber industry. As we witness paradigm shift towards automation, data exchange, and smart technologies, understanding the strategic significance of embracing Industry 4.0 is paramount. Our journey begins with a comprehensive exploration of how this advancement can propel the Malaysia timber industry to new heights of efficiency, sustainability, and competitiveness. Next on our agenda, we have Global Electromax Sdn Bhd taking the stage. Their focus lies on software-aided manufacturing for enhanced efficiency and productivity. Through the lens of cutting-edge technology, our second speaker will illustrate how the integration of software in manufacturing process can revolutionize the way we approach timber industry. From streamlined operation to optimized resources utilization, we are set to discover the transformative power of Industry 4.0 in the context of timber manufacturing. Completing our trail of insightful presentation, we have Paita Asia Private Limited shedding lights on digital manufacturing headcamp in carpentry. Carpentry and HO craft is now embracing the digital era, and our third speaker will showcase the impact of computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacturing to the carpentry landscape. Witness firsthand how these advancements are reshaping the traditional art of timber craftsmanship, ensuring precision, scalability, and adaptability to the demands of the modern market. In addition to this enlightening presentation, we are thrilled to offer a mini exhibition where leading tech companies will showcase their cutting-edge software technology and application tailored specifically for the timber industry. This exhibition provides a unique opportunity for collaboration, networking, and exchange of ideas among industry leaders, innovators, and stakeholders. As we embark on this journey into the future of Malaysia timber industry, let us embrace the possibilities that Industry 4.0 brings. Together, we can propel this industry into a new era of growth, sustainability, and global competitiveness. So now, let us exploration of Industry 4.0 for the timber industry advancement begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee Seng Tai. Ladies and gentlemen, now without further ado, I am honored to extend the invitation to Puan Norehan Abdul Rahman, the CEO of the Malaysian Timber Council MTC, to present her opening remarks. Puan Norehan, the floor is yours.
Mr. Lee Seng Tai, the President of Malaysian Woodworking Machinery Association, Albert Lai, the advisor for Underway, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. And we are excited to actually kick off the year with this seminar. This is the first seminar for the year to help the industry transform its journey into the realm of the Industry 4.0. So I would like to express my gratitude to all the three eminent speakers who will be sharing their perspectives with industry members today at this seminar. Mr. Lee have touched on all the three speakers. The first speaker is Mr. John Chan from Regatech. So we look forward to hear from you on the challenges faced by the furniture industry in embracing IR 4.0, all the meticulous steps involved in the designing digital transformation roadmaps and the revolutionary smart factory solution. And Mr. Arifin Yahya from Global Electromag. So look forward to hear from you on the software aid manufacturing, on the CAD/CAM software that is tailored towards the woodworking companies, and finally Mr. Aaron Wu from Python Asia, who will take us on the journey through the digital CAD/CAM in carpentry, which will be most useful for furniture and molding manufacturers, as well as an opportunity to learn all about the 3D CAD software that is designed to provide seamless integration for our industry's manufacturing process. So ladies and gentlemen, it is without doubt that the age of automation and digital transformation has brought a new wave of changes for two businesses around the world. To embrace the new industrial revolution, in line with the industry forward, the timber industry is urged to adopt the IR 4.0 concept, tools, and applications such as the Green 5S, Lean Manufacturing, and Smart Factory in their manufacturing processes to further improve the production efficiency and eventually achieve global competence. So we at MTC have several programs dedicated towards helping the industry, such as the Factory Transformation Program, Automation Technology Acquisition Program, and Business Digitalization Program. All these are focused towards intensifying the efforts on the adoption of the sound business methodologies, automation and digitalization, as well as prelude to the IR 4.0. And these also include the implementation of the 5S and lean manufacturing practices, acquiring software to digitalize business processes, and purchasing of machinery for automation, among other strategic measures. So today's seminar, we will focus on the cost effectiveness and the sustainable approaches to digital transformation that are crucial for the continued success of our industry. So may this seminar inspire the industry to create a future where innovation and sustainability come together for the betterment of the Malaysian timber industry. So I would like to encourage all of you to make the most of this opportunity to get as much information as you can from all our speakers, for I'm certain that they are eager to share their experience and knowledge. With that, I thank you for your attention and I wish everyone a fruitful deliberation.
Thank you, Honorable Abdul Rahman. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker for today is Mr. John Chai, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Regal Tech M Sdn Bhd, a qualified civil engineer by profession. Mr. Chai brings a wealth of experience across construction, service and manufacturing, notably dedicating over a decade to the oil and gas construction sector, driven by his enthusiasm for both Industrial Revolution 4.0 and ESG, environmental, social, and governance. He aspires to spearhead the adoption of technology and innovation for clients in his current position as the Chief Executive Officer at Regal Tech Automation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. John Chai.
Good morning. How's everybody feeling? Great. All right. First session, right? So let's keep the energy up. I'll try to be a bit more engaging. So I'll ask some questions and hopefully you can raise your hands or not. Once again, big thanks to MTC and MWMA for arranging for this talk and for inviting us to speak. So the buzzword is Industry Revolution 4. Who here has heard this term so many times that they're sick of hearing it already? Can I see a show of hands? Okay. Who is like not too sure? Who has not heard of it before or not familiar? Any hands? So pretty much everybody is relatively familiar, right? We use the word revolution. So what does it mean? You see, in 1784, the first revolution came. Steam made machinery possible, right? And then the next revolution, 1870, we talk about mass production assembly line. And what happened here? In early 20th century, Henry Ford, from the Ford company, he perfected this. So he had the Model T, the car came out. We use the word revolution is because what happened in the early 20th century, when the cars came around, all the horse-drawn carriage, all gone. Overnight, in the city of New York, 300,000 horses lost their jobs, right? All the people that were involved in the taking care of the horses, the blacksmith taking care of the horseshoes, all lost their jobs. So we're talking about revolution. So this is very, very important because if we're not part of this revolution, we might also be superseded, right? I'm not going to ask where you stand, but I can safely say that most Malaysian SMEs are between 1 and 2. Some of the larger companies are between 2 and 3. Safe to say that not many companies in the world are at 4. Most are at 3 point something only. So IR4 is a target. It is a grand vision where we are striving to move towards. So hopefully after today, I'll give everybody a brief overview. What is IR4 really about? What constitutes IR4? And hopefully it gives you some solutions to help you embark on this journey. So the term IR4, we break it down into these 9 pillars. Augmented reality, AR, system integration, cloud, big data, analytics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, or we'll also call additive manufacturing, cybersecurity, autonomous robots, and simulation. So we'll go into each one step by step. There are 9 pillars. So let's start with the first one. So what is big data? We've got a lot of data, right? Who in the company still sends people to take down pen and paper, collect the data, key into Excel, come up with a chart? Anybody still do that? Yeah? People still do that, right? We've got so much data. How to make sense of it? Who still checks the data from, let's say, before pandemic? It's all stored in an Excel file somewhere. The data is there. It's all jumbled up. You know, I've got my water bill data. I've got my TNB data. How much electricity I use. How much worker I have. What is my salary? All that data is there, but it's raw. So what big data does is it acts like our brain, right? It cleans the data and then gives it in a meaningful manner that we can make the decision making. Like for example, now we talk about ESG. So maybe you want to start paying attention to your TNB bill, right? You start tracking this data. and then see how month after month can I slowly reduce it or can I make it more efficient. So big data is like our brain. Internet of Things, IoT, is like our sensors, right? It is the group of sensors that you deploy to pick up the data. Without IoT, there is no data. Unless you're still using people to use the pen and paper, go, collect, come back, key in. IoT is like our eyes, our ears, our mouth, our touch. So you can deploy the sensors, collect the data, then you can really talk about big data and data analytics. So of all the nine pillars here, we start with IoT. Without IoT, nothing else happens. So just bear that in mind. So the autonomous robots are like our hands, robotic arms. Once you have all the data, what I wanted to do, you get the robotic arms to carry out the job. Nowadays, it's getting more and more expensive to hire foreign labor. So autonomous robots might be something to look at. But bear in mind, a lot of people think about IR4, they think about robots already. But this is actually at a later stage. Without the data, without the IoT, don't talk about robots. Because then you just have the robot there without any instructions, without any data to do the work. So the European robotics KUKA, as an example, they've got the autonomous robots that can be interlinked. They can automatically adjust their positions to pick up from the previous robot. So that's where some of the technology is right now. The simulation or the digital twin is, for example, last time if I want to do design, maybe you draw something and then we do what we call trial fit, right? You make the model, you trial fit, see whether it works or not, go back, make some adjustments. But now we can do all this simulated. That's on the design for the end product. But the simulation goes much further. It can be used to simulate the process, the manufacturing process. How I machine the parts, how I set up the machines, all of this can be simulated. So that you can cut down on your setup time, you can cut down your process time, which will add to your efficiency. So for example, Siemens, on the machine tooling side, they simulated the setup so that in real life, they were able to reduce setup time by 80%. So this is very important for those manufacturers that have high mix, low volume. You constantly have to worry about setup, right? Digital twin is not just for your process, but also can be adopted on your entire shop floor. Like for example, your factory, you have a CNC machine here, then over time, you bought another machine, you bought another machine. Have you thought about how your process flow can be optimized? Have you thought about where your material lay down, how it goes through the flow? Is it the most efficient? So you can do a digital twin, you can simulate, and it can show you, hey, if I adjust the machine A, B, C this way to suit my shop floor, it can be more efficient, right? You save time. So this is simulation and digital twin. Cloud. A lot of people hear about cloud. So what is cloud? Who here still remembers those big server rooms that we buy and keep in our office? Who remembers? Show of hands. Spend a lot of money, right? Tens of thousands of dollars, right? Server room. Because you collect the data you put there on premise. Cloud basically means it's like a remote server room, right? You no longer need a server room on your premises. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Why? Why can we have cloud right now? Anybody knows why? Better connectivity, right? Last time we only had 3G, then 4G. Now we got 5G. So all the data that we collect, we can straight away push to the cloud, and it's stored there. Basically, it's stored on a data center offsite, right? Data center. The good thing about that is the data centers, they will update and maintain it. You don't need to replace your server. For example, you bought a server, you invested maybe 30,000 in a server room. After a number of years, you have to change it because it's outdated already. But with cloud, it's already done, right? So some of the cloud service providers right now would be AWS, which is Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Ali Cloud, Huawei. Who here watches YouTube? Everybody watches YouTube, right? Basically, you're using cloud already. Because the video, the data is stored in cloud. You're just streaming on your phone. So if you think IR4 is something that is very far, very hard to achieve, actually, most of the pillars people are already touching it already. Okay. Augmented reality is, it's kind of like you wearing sunglasses. It's a form of seeing, right? Who here has children that play Pokemon Go? Pokemon Go, you've seen it? You take the phone, you use the video, you see the floor. In reality, there's nothing there, but on the phone you see something, right? I remember the other speaker, Mr. Aaron, we were just having this chat. How can augmented reality help? Because he was bringing up the fact that in Singapore, it's so hard to find a skilled carpenter to help you install the cabinet. So I can manufacture, but the installation at the final location is difficult. I need a skilled carpenter, right? So imagine, I can use the AR. My skilled carpenter, Sifu, is sitting in the office. You send a semi-skilled there, using the AR with a phone, he's able to direct how to install. So that's a possible use case, using the phone. Or right now, a lot of people are able to use FaceTime or video call. You can already do things like this already, right? But with AR, on top of your video, you're able to see certain icons on your screen. The Sifu might be telling you, use this tool, adjust this dimension, instead of just using voice. So this is AR. Cybersecurity, I don't have to touch too much. It's basically antivirus. If we talk about IR4, if everything is going to go on the cloud, off-premise, we need to have really good cybersecurity. So it's kind of like our body's immune system, right? So if data analytics is the brain, IoT is our senses, autonomous robots was the hands. Cloud is where we house the brain, right? Cloud, we send off-site. Cybersecurity is our immune system. Okay, this is very, very interesting. One of the pillars is called 3D printing, but I like to use the word additive manufacturing because it's adding. All forms of manufacturing prior to this is called reductive. We reduce. For example, I take the timber, I have to cut to size, right? I have to remove, I reduce it. I have to file it, I have to sand it down. So as I'm doing this, I'm removing, it's reducing. Additive manufacturing means I'm adding, I'm not removing anything, right? Imagine like I've got a piece of marble. Again, I have to remove the marble to become the statue. Now I can 3D print the statue. You've seen 3D printed before? Plastic, resin. Now we can print metal. Can you imagine? You simulate the design, something that's very difficult to make. Has anybody seen they 3D printed a metallic piece for use in aerospace, in airplane wing? The design is such a way where they use the least material but structurally still sound, right? So you imagine for if you're doing furniture, I can have a design where I use less material but still structurally sound. I can 3D print it out. So this is very interesting for the furniture maker players, right? In my opinion. Now, the last but not least, we call system integration, or we also call horizontal and vertical integration. And to me, this is the essence of IR4. So what does it mean? Imagine I have got my entire supply chain, right? So for woodworking, you have your logging company. So he logs from the forest, sends to a lumber mill, maybe sends to a distributor before it reaches your hand, and then you will produce, and then you maybe pass to a distributor, and then finally ends up customer hand. Imagine the whole system is integrated. It's linked. The moment a customer makes an order, for example, I buy a sofa set and it uses X amount of wood, the system is all linked from the end customer all the way to the lumber, the logging. The logger knows, oh, I need to cut down one more tree already. It's all done in real time. So what does that mean? All the lead time of ordering and processing, right, shrinks. we're talking about efficiency. We're talking about faster speed to market. That's on the horizontal. We're talking about vertical. Within your company, we've got so many departments: procurement, finances, HR, operations, design. Are you able to integrate that as well? We can use, for example, ERP systems. Everybody's heard of ERP systems already. So within the company vertical, you can use software ERP to integrate. And then across the horizontal, you can integrate with the supply chain. So which means whatever happens anywhere, for example, customer orders, factory, maybe he got material issue. Straight away, customer will be notified. Actually, your delivery date originally was for 2 weeks, but now there's a delay. Okay, it will come in after 3 weeks. Automatic notification. They will know because something happened here. Because maybe something happened earlier. Delivery issue, for example. So these are the 9 pillars. So when we talk about IR4, such a broad topic, we break that down into these 9 pillars, right? And then the thing is, I want to add one additional pillar. As I was doing research for this talk, AI has come into the fore, so that's an additional pillar. I think it's a bit far to talk about AI right now, because how it works is you need IoT to collect the data, then it pushes to your data analytics, and then we can start possibly talking about machine learning. So what happens here is your IoT picks up the data. The analytics churns the data, gives you, let's say, a dashboard. You see, oh, okay, I use how much electricity, I use how much water. You then take this, and then you start to do what we call machine learning, to teach the computer. Because right now, it's still the human that looks at the data. So now I'm trying to replace me by teaching the AI. We call it machine learning. Only after we do a lot of machine learning can the AI replace me. Can the AI take the data, look at the data, and then say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Basically, we've moved to AI. AI is actually way, way, way down. Who here has already used ChatGPT? A lot of people, right? So, what does that mean? Basically, it is artificial intelligence that's done a lot of machine learning already. But it can be used by us. Now imagine, Company A, for example, Mr. Lee's company, TechBond. You've done, you've collected all the data, you've done machine learning, you've created your own AI, specifically suited to you. But you can take the same AI, you can pass it to another company that is also doing manufacturing. It can also help them, possibly. So because you've trained the AI already. But again, you might not be willing to do that. It's just a competitor, right? But that's what artificial intelligence is about. So, where do we start? How can we get started? How can we get started on our Industrial 4 journey? Just pick these 3, right? So what were these 3? Remember? What was the big data analytics? What's that? Our brain, right? We need the brain. IoT is to get the data, our sensors, and then the cloud to house the brain. That's all. We want to just pick up the data, we want a place to house it, and we just want to analyze it. Good enough. Good enough. So, using these 3 pillars, without spending too much money, how can I increase our capacity? I think a lot of people here that are in manufacturing will be keen to understand how can I stretch my dollar, get the most return on my ringgit. Am I right to say that? So the digitalization of your operations has huge returns, but there's issue with that. There's complexity to that, and hopefully by the end of today's session, we'll be able to address that. One of the critical KPI of any manufacturing is OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. Who's heard of OEE before? Familiar with the term? Right? OEE gain can have huge impact. I use my existing facilities, I use my existing machines, I do not add headcount. Just by improving my OEE, I can have huge impact. For example, a typical benchmark for a normal factory will only have 40% OEE. Typical. You might think it's low, but it's quite typical, right? 60% is considered normal, 85 is world class. 85 is world class. So if I can move from, let's say, 60% OEE to 85, means that I have 1.5x my existing capacity. I didn't change anything. I did not buy extra machinery. I did not add extra headcount. I just improved my OEE 1.5x. If I'm already at 40%, I move to 85, I have 2x. 2x. So basically, you've just bought yourself another factory. Can we say that? Just by improving your OEE. Again, most companies will be at the 40%. You'll be surprised. Right? Okay. This is just a simple diagram to demonstrate that. So, how does OEE work? If you see the total time, basically, if your machine, the moment you buy the machine, it can work, it's sitting there, that's your total time. Then we start breaking it down. We have got loading losses. So the loading loss here, you've got unscheduled time and you've got planned downtime. So you can't do much about this, right? That means I got no order. It's basically, I cannot operate the machine. We start looking at this available time. That means I've got existing order. I can move the machine. I've got changeover set up a time. I've got breakdown. So these are availability losses. Once I have got breakdown or I got changeover, this available time shrinks down to operating time. Within the operating time, I've also got performance losses. Minor stops, speed loss. Then down the running time, if I have quality, I've got reject, I've got rework. Actually, this is what you're left with, actually. This is what your machinery is giving you output. So normally, we talk about 40%. World class means 85%. 85% is the OE here. We don't talk about total effective equipment performance, because if I got no order, the machine is not going to run anyways. So we just use the OE here. So within these losses, if you're able to shrink it down to 15%, meaning your OE is 85%, you're world class. So that's what we're trying to achieve, right? We use the three pillars. We use technology. We try to address the OE. So what are the challenges? Just now I heard Juan mention, there's challenges to adopt digitalization. High complexity. Your existing factory is over-engineered. I got different machinery, different process. It's difficult to digitalize. It's highly specialized. I need expertise to do it, right? I need to get back the same vendor, the same agent to help me do this. Heavy infrastructure. I've invested a lot already. I don't want to change. High cost of implementation. Right? I've got a mix of equipment types. I've got brand A, brand B, brand C. I've got machines from 1990, 2000, 2010. Maybe I even have machines from 1970. Lack of agility, difficult to adjust. Lock in. That means if I'm using this brand, I have to use the same service. I'm locked in. I cannot move. I cannot integrate with between brand A and brand B. So these are all the challenges that we face. Right? The complex architecture. Right? This is a picture of one of the use cases where how are we gonna digitalize this? It's so complex. So today I'm here to share two solutions on how we can achieve OEE using technology. So the first solution is a plug-and-play intelligent lamp, right? We can see here, your normal lamp will tell you the different colors, red, amber, green. But here, this automatically collects the data. This automatically collects the data. It is connected to your voltage. That means I do not need to go and run through your protocol. Any machine that is running electricity, I know if the machinery is running, this wire is running. If the machine stops, this wire, I can tap the signal. So, with this, And with the 4G, it can push straight to the cloud already. I attach this to the machine, it can pick up waiting for processing. You're already starting to capture OE already. Correct. No need to open the device protocol, and regardless of equipment brand or year. So these are the existing tricolor lights, the existing ones, just replace. If you don't have, just add. It's so simple that with some training, even the auntie in your canteen also can install. Right? So this is not rocket science. So the execution process basically is you install, you download the app on your phone, and then from the app on your phone, you input the production line. That means, for example, I have a CNC. So this is a CNC production line A, CNC machine. You notice there's a QR code here. So after you download the app, you scan the QR code with the production line. You are binding this machine with this light to that line already. So straight away, on my app, I know what is happening. Right? So for example, we talk about status. Earlier I mentioned about sending a staff, going to the shop floor, using pen and paper. A lot of people are still doing that, right? What is the status of this machine right now? At 12 o'clock before lunch, you go one round. After lunch, you do another round, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Every hour you go, you grab the status. This machine is running, this is on standby. For example, you can set red to failure. This is the machine state. Now we can do it in real time. You can see it on your phone, you can see it on your laptop. Okay? You can also see the corresponding statistics. That means how long has it been green? How long has it been yellow? Now the boss can do this. Last time is like every time you see somebody playing on the phone, right? Now you can say, actually I'm working. Right? I'm looking at the status. For the yellow is waiting. You can set certain requirements to say that if the waiting period is too long, after X minutes, you need to request for explanation. Why is it waiting? Am I waiting for material? Or is something wrong? Or I'm waiting for a supervisor to give me further instructions? So we can set this end-on system. Right? The end-on system is where you can preset to say that, look, if there's a lack of material, that means machine A to machine B, machine A's material does not arrive from machine B, I can set the end-on at machine B. Then the correct people are notified. Notification is sent to the correct people. It can be, you want to request for inspection. It can be setup time changing. So every time you create this end-on, the notification will be set. You can request the correct people to go address that issue. Field Kanban, I'm not going to go too much in this. Basically, it's just the TV screen in your factory. You can extract all these reports. Previously, again, manual reports, I have to write down, I have to key it into Excel, and then now everything can be exported easily, right? And on statistics. So that's the first solution. Second solution is a bit more canggih. If you want more information, right? So this is a modular where it's also self-deployable, but it requires more integration. That means you have to link up to the controller of the protocol. So what does it do? Right? We're talking about different sensors here. I think maybe these type of sensors might be a bit more applicable to different type of manufacturing processes. For example, I need to know the temperature, I need to know the pressure, or I need to do counting, right? I need to. So maybe it's not so applicable if you're doing woodworking, but again, we have this solution. It needs more integration. We're looking at the different protocols, but we can collect much more information. And it will give you a different type of data, different type of dashboard, right? Solution B. This is how the overall architecture works. Remember earlier I mentioned IoT, sense, big data, analytics, the brain, and then it pushes up to the cloud. So you put the IoT here from machines, from the machine to the node, pushes up to the cloud via the gateway, secure cloud, and then it does the analytics and you get to see the dashboard. So basically, with this three, you're addressing your OE here, remember. Remember your OE? Unscheduled downtime. what do you call that? Speed loss, breakdown. I'm seeing this already. As a boss, if I'm relying on my staff to go and take that data, report to middle management, and then have the middle management summarize that and pass to me, it's too late already. It's too late already. Now I can get it all in real time. Right? So normally, Regal Tech solution model will just work with a one-time setup, and then there will be SaaS annual subscription. That's our model. Our partners include KUKA, Webrural, IFN, ABB, DigiWin. DigiWin helps with the software. ABB, I'm sure everybody heard of ABB. They help us with our process automation. KUKA is a robotic house, and our field automation partners are here. So in summary, IR4 is not a big term. You can start small. You focus on a few of the pillars, of the 9 pillars. You don't have to start with all the 9 pillars. Pick a few, focus there. It's important to also think about how you want to roll out your entire roadmap. Think about that. And then that's all for today, and I wish you all the best on your IR4 journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. John Chai, for the insightful presentation. Our next speaker is Mr. Arifin Yahya, a business entrepreneur, owner and founder of Global Electromech M Sdn and AlphaCam Southeast Asia. His professional journey commenced in 2001 with the establishment of Global Electromech M Sdn. The company specializes in supplying a diverse range of products, including laboratory equipment, machine engineering software such as AlphaCam, as well as providing repair and maintenance service and process automation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Arifin Yahya.
Thanks to the MC. Thank you to MTC for inviting me and to WMA. Right, okay, my name is Arifin. I'm from Global Electromech Malaysia Sdn. Represent AlphaCam. Before we get started, a bit about AlphaCam. Anybody here is familiar with this software? Do you have been use this software as your CAM system? Or you have any CNC machine there? You have a CNC machine? Oh, great. So any software that you're using, AlphaCam or any CAM software, right? This is the system that I'm going to talk about. The software-aided manufacturing for efficiency and your productivity, right? So basically, AlphaCam is an England-based brand which is developed, specialized on the CAD and CAM design, right? So, what I believe here, you can see from these two different things. This is a lathe machine, and this is the CNC lathe. Or otherwise, you can say that this is a conventional machine. So, in the conventional system, especially in the SME, we are using this manual router, manual lathe machine, manual saw machine. So we like to transform it from the traditional system to the CNC. So, what's AlphaCam? So AlphaCam is a total CAD-CAM solution. It's starting from, we have the CAD design, we call it the AlphaCam Designer. We can design from 2D to 3D and 3D solid modeling as well. So we also have robot machining. Beside that, we can call it AlphaCam for education. So this is for schools and universities and training center. We have AlphaCam wire, art, turning stone, milling. We are focusing on router. So you see here, the benefit by using AlphaCam as your CAD-CAM solution, whereby You can save your time, you can reduce your cost, you can reduce your manpower, you can maximize your production and of course your profit. You see here, what's the benefit by using the system? Is a fully automation. And secondly, we have a very good application, we call it nesting. So what is nesting? Anybody know here, nesting? Maybe you can share something to me? Nesting is what is nesting? So nesting is one of the design that, let's say that you have a part you want to manufacture in one piece of wood, for example 4 times 8. So you want to manufacture, or you want to run the machining, let's say the chair or the leg of the chair. So this nesting system will automatically arrange the design with a piece of wood with a full of best class in nesting, with a full of what we call that the drawing with the minimum of waste. You will get the maximum of, let's say that you arrange by manually. Maybe you can get 8 or 10, but with the nesting system, you can get maybe 15 or more, right? This is the features of the system work out. So from the CAD, we transform to the automation. Later on, I will go in detail about this. And finally, the nesting, then after that, you can do the machining, right? So this is all of what the manufacturing needs in your factory. From the wood, wire, just now I mentioned lead, robotic, metalworking, and also carving. Okay, let's see this video for 5 minutes. You can see what is actually we're talking about. Okay. When you watch this video, short video around 3-4 minutes, you will understand actually what the need of CAD-CAM. Okay, this is a wood hooking of a 5-axis, a multi-spindle. Okay, guys, what you understand from this video? You only see the machining process, you see the machine and so on, right? So, what I want to share with you is, with the CAM system that we are providing it, you can do from the basic machining up to 5 axis machines. And without the CAM system, you will not have this kind of finished product. That's why once you have the CNC machine, you need to have a very good CAM to run this kind of final product, right? So another thing is, what the good of the system is, whatever type of machine that you have, let's say that you have a routering machine, 3-axis or 2D nesting machine, or whatever machine, and also you have the metal looking machine. You can see the various of brand, they have a SCM, they have Woodcore, Haas machine, and so with a different type of controller. So the CAM system that I'm presenting now can work with your machine. So meaning that with the one system, with the one CAM system, it can link with all type of CNC machine, as long as a computer numerical control. Right, you see? Okay, next. This is the process of CAM. You see, what is the CAM? This is the CAM, this is the process of machining, and finally, this is the machining process to the machine that you watched just now. So what is CAM? Right, just now, you see the process first of all CAM. But my system is CAM, computer aided manufacturing, which is the CAM is here. So the process after that, we do the simulation process, then the final product. So what is CAD? CAD, later on, my partner Mr. Aaron will talk about. But you ask me, Arifin, I don't want to use your CAD. I have third-party CAD. So what should I do? I can import any type of CAD design from your supplier, from your designer. So if you are familiar with SolidCAD, you're familiar with CATIA, you're familiar with Rhino, or you have the PDF, JPEG. So we have the application to import your JPEG or your photo, transform into our system, and will automatically emboss it. Then will become the engraving or carving. Then we can do the CNC process as well. So you can see here we have around 18 of third-party CAD design that we can import directly into our system. So after that we do the CAM. So you see here, this is the CAM. So after you send the drawing and import it to our CAM, then we get the G code, the M code process. Then we transfer, before we transfer to the machine, we need to have the post processor and the simulation. What is simulation? So before you do the simulation process or before you do the machining process, we need to simulate your drawing in the CAM. Because of why? Because we don't want to have the downtime. Secondly, we don't want to have the machine accident. Once the drawing is not according to the system, then they will bang your spindle and will cost you 30,000, 40,000 ringgit. Right? It's less maintenance if you have this kind of simulation. So we have a 4 type of simulation. You can see here, we have a wireframe simulation in the system before we transfer it into the machining process. We also have a solid with a G-code, manual or automatically. If you are using funnel controller from G1, G2, up to G99, you can enter it manually. From that, you can see the spindle work. What is G1? What is G2? Until you have get the full of entire program. And with this, if let's say that there is an error, so there is red remark there, you can do the editing on your control as well. We also have the machine simulation. What is the machine simulation? Machine simulation, let's say you are using Haas machine, you are using SCM machine, you are using any type of machine, so you can see the simulation on the machining, actual machine in the program. Get why we have this function? Because once the machine, before you transfer to the machine, you can see either the tool bit or the spindle in the correct position. Otherwise, if you have the machine vice over here, if you are not show in the simulation part, definitely there is an accident happen here. Then it will cost you to repair. It's quite high cost. Alright? Okay, you can see from this picture, this is a real picture and our success case. This is a 3 different design. The first and the third is a local company, and the second is overseas company. So these two, previously, before they have the CNC machine, they do with hand carving. Same as this, same as this. So I asked him, how long it takes to get this kind of product? Maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. If you can sell 1 unit is, let's say that 10,000, 20,000 ringgit. Only 1 piece for 1 month with 10,000, you have to pay the utilities, the cost, the worker. So actually, finally you will get the break even, or you may be lost. So this is after we do the machining process. And this is the production. After we get the drawing from the factory, so we do the drawing, we transfer into our CAM system. This is the machining process. And you can see here, this is a single spindle machine with 4x8 MBF board. You can manufacture it in 1 time, maybe less than 1 hour. So you can get 8 pieces or 6 pieces in 1 time. Then you can sell it easily. And this is only a single spindle. You try to imagine you have a multi-spindle, 3 spindle machine, 4 spindle machine. So you can manufacture it in 1 time and increasing your production. No, okay. This is the same thing. This is our Vietnamese client. So this is the headboard. This is the leg of the table, and that is the chair. So all this is designed by our system. Then they have a 5-axis machine, they have a 3-axis multi-spindle machine, and the best part is with this we only use 3-axis machine. At the 1 time manufacture with a 4x8 machine, they can produce 8 hours non-stop. They can get more business from here. This is how the CAM system works. This is how we are helping to the SME and also the entrepreneur to get at least 1 CNC machine to increase the production. So you minimize your cost, maximum your production, and maximum your profit. The CAM system for woodworking. So we are focusing here. What is the CAM system that will help you, and what is your final good that you can manufacture from the CNC with our CAM. So the application, you can do it joinery, carving, table, panel door, and many more. That is our partner. Why I'm saying that our system can work with so many type of machine brand, because we have a partner and machine controller as well. So we are working with this kind of machine maker. We are also working with this type of controller. You don't worry if you have a China machine or Taiwanese machine, European machine, or any type of controller. The best in market now is Fanuc controller, Siemens controller. Even you have a Syntec controller, or you are not using the controller, you are using the PC based or the SP controller. We are here to develop the post processor to run your CNC. So this is some of our local customer, and also we also have a education customer. So we are supplying to develop student to familiarize with the software. Not only a woodworking company, but we also supply to metalworking company. If you know this Swiss profile company based in Penang, they are making a luxury Swiss watch. So they are using our system to put the diamond on the watch. So this is a worldwide customer, right? So that's all from me. So if you have any question, maybe you can ask me after that. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Arifin Yahya, for the informative presentation. Concluding our lineup of speakers today is Mr. Aaron Wu from Faita Asia Private Limited. He is an experienced consultant with a proven track record in the furniture industry, possessing expertise in Faita, computer-aided design CAD, SolidWorks, and Inventor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Aaron Wu.
Okay, good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank MTC for inviting us to share. So my name is Aaron, and I'm showing today just explaining Paita. But what I want to explain is how Paita will be the first step in your transformation. Okay. First, you need to digitalize your design. Then, after that, when you have sensors in the machine, you can track your production. So this is a journey, okay? So today I'm going to share with you how Paita can help you to digitalize your production, what we call like digital manufacturing, okay? So first, the software that I'm showing you is from Germany. I'm the reseller for Southeast Asia, so I sell Paita in Southeast Asia and Japan, Korea, Taiwan. Paita is about 38 years old this year. So it's a software that has been in Germany for over 38 years. Worldwide, 5,000 over customers. Southeast Asia, about 140 customers that are using Paita. So Paita is first a 3D system. Okay, so first you draw your design in 3D, like you see in the middle. Okay, and then after that, we can do rendering. Okay, so you are able to have a photorealistic rendering in the software. Second, we can produce your BOM, BQ. You have your cutting list, hardware list, each bending data. Okay? And then Python can also produce your 2D drawing. So basically what you draw in AutoCAD, Python can also do. So you don't really need to draw manually in AutoCAD. Why we say it's good? Because 2D is linked with 3D. Now if you draw on AutoCAD, when you change your design, you have to change all your 2D, right? Because not linked. So in Python, if you change your 3D, all the AutoCAD section view, single drawing will all be updated. And most importantly, we can connect to the machine. Then some of you will ask, then what is the difference between us and AlphaCAD? Okay, for Python, you can use Python to go and connect if you are doing simple panel furniture. Okay, means like drilling, some simple routing. But when we talk about chair, sofa, you can use Python to design. But because it's 5-axis, you need AlphaCAD help to do the programming of the machine. Okay, so for panel furniture, simple things, Python can connect to the machine. European machine, Chinese machine, as I say, as long as the machine can accept a USB stick, it's okay. Because I've seen machine only forbid this 15 years ago, so that one cannot. Okay, so these are the type of machine that we are able to connect: panel saw, aging, nesting, multi-drill machine. Okay, so how, you see, today, just now in the first speaker, we learned that if you put sensor on the machine, yes, you can know how long your machine work, right? But if you also have your data in Python, later I'll show you, you can actually now track this project, how long does it take to go through this machine. Then as a boss, you know, actually my project, how many % done? This is the critical part that we want, and that can only be done if we link CAD with IoT together. Okay, so this is a typical scenario. I think Singapore, Malaysia, most of it the same. First, designer takes a drawing from architect, or maybe they sketch from to the resident, right? When you have a job. Then, after they do the drawing, rendering, they pass to the engineering department, or some people say drafter. Okay, and drafter produce the 2D drawing, correct? Elevation view, shop drawing. And then drafter sometimes pass to carpenter. Carpenter manually count the panel and tell the boss how many panel to order. Okay, and then drafter also produce the 2D drawing, pass it to the CNC machining guy, and the CNC machining guy manually input the data onto the machine. So you can see many human in between. Okay, what a CAD/CAM solution want to do is to try to integrate all this together so that you have less human operating in the middle from design to production. Okay, so how can we do this? For example, in a kitchen like this, okay, there are 3 things that you need to do when you see a kitchen to produce the kitchen. First, carpenter need to come up with cutting list, correct? They look at the drawing, they have to do, okay? Then, you need to do your bill of material, and lastly, you need to know this panel, need to use this panel, need to go to panel saw, or go to aging, or go to drilling, or just machine A can already. So this is a bit complex. Woodworking is not like mass production, like metal industry. Metal industry, you build a chair, machine A, B, C, A, B, C, easy to track. But us, different. Shelf, no need drilling, only aging. Side panel, need aging, need drilling. Correct? Back panel, only cut, no need anything else. So that's why they say actually carpentry is very complex, because we are not a standard production line. Ours, our project are everywhere. So that's why you need first your design in CAD, so that the computer can tell you this panel needs to go to where. So I'll first demonstrate the software. Okay, I'll open Python. This is how it looks like. We have many different languages. You want to use it in Chinese, Bahasa, no problem, we can switch. So first, I bring in a wall. Okay, how you ask how do we design a kitchen in Python? Very simple. You just go to generator, we say kitchen, immediately you have a cabinet. Okay? So now I have a door, and what we mean by intelligent, you see if I press 400, immediately the door becomes one door based on your rules that you set. Okay? So if I say with 800, the cabinet automatically give you a 2-door. I insert on the right. I now can say I want a cabinet and I want maybe drawers. Okay, and you can see the drawer here. I can say 2 drawer, 1 drawer, no problem. I want the drawer to be equal. I just say -1, -1, -1 ratio. Okay, I can change. Okay, I can easily go back now here and say that this one is 400. Okay, so this one is smaller, move, insert to the right, and now I can say that this one I want a corner unit, for example, like this. Okay, or even a corner L. Okay, so you can see that easily, even if I say corner, I can now check. Okay, this distance is about 200 millimeters. So I say edit this cabinet, and I need this to be 600. And now you have a simple cabinet here, right? So with this cabinet, this very simple example, okay, we are able to say now, workshop, I say, please put in the machining. Okay, maybe I'll choose for today's event, MTC, and you can see the system automatically applies the connection here, right? All this connection. So you can say like this job, I use lamello, I use dowel, I use screw. You can put different type of construction. So this is what we mean by you digitalize your design. Okay? Because what happened in some companies, you hire a person to decide how is the connection. The person go on leave, sick for 1 week. How? Different. The assistant maybe don't know, hey, how is the connection? But now you put these rules, this data into the computer, so that even if your operator is sick, you can still have the same product quality, same rules, okay, for every design. So, what else? Okay, why is it important? I mean, what I show you, again, this is like just a kitchen, but why is it important nowadays in our industry? So I've seen in the industry, because I sell in Asia and also in Japan, a lot of export markets, their customers that do exports is slow. We all know, right? But we also seen a trend now that a lot of makers, like in my customers in Indonesia, they are pivoting to more customized product. What do I mean by that? Last time, you can order 1,000 check. But now to be competitive, I have to say 200, 100, 200, smaller MOQ item. But the only way to do this is only if you digitalize. Because only if you digitalize, you can offer customization without too much office work. Right? We don't want customization because of office work. Many planning process. And nowadays you got web shop. Web shop, how? If I put like this is a Singapore company, I put pegboard, I sell pegboard like IKEA. I want a situation where after the night, the next day, I want the software to give me a report and I bring it to my software and I get the order, right? So in our system, how we can do that? This is a bit words, but we can work with your web developer. So basically to say that order 1, open these 2 beds. What is the width of the bed? For order 1, order 2, the width of the bed is a single size, super single, or double decker bed. And in the morning, when I come into my office, okay, in the morning when I come into my factory, has the designer, I say file, I say import, I say web shop, I say, okay, this is the web shop file that I want to import. Automatically, the system brings in the 2 orders. Order 1 is placed here. You can see with the same file, but single size, super single. Order 2, single, double decker bed frame. So this is what we mean by digitalization. You don't need to print the order sheet and manually put in. The web shop, when they check out, they consolidate order 1. So if you look here, in my tree, okay, you can see order 1 is group, order 2 is group here. That's order 2. Okay, immediately I can get my bill of material. I know exactly all the data and down to every single panel. This is what we want, the data of every single panel. Because when there's the data, you can track later on in the machine. Okay? So, another innovation that is coming up, we see is this device. Some of you might seen this before. What is the biggest problem that is human prone? Is site measurement, right? No matter how good your machine is, if the guy who's doing site measurement very tired, see the measuring tape only, end up you have a lot of site work to do. Okay? So in Europe nowadays, you have this FlexiJet system where you can point on all the corner, it becomes a 3D. And I'll give you one example from the FlexiJet. So if you look at this was from my colleague in Germany. Okay, this is Ethic. This is what the scanning software did. They point to the roof. It can even measure the angle very accurately. Okay, so with this data object, okay, all you do is bring in the cabinet. Now you see, and you see actually in my cabinet doesn't matter because this is a standard library, right? Comes out, it's okay, right? So now with the software, all I do, I say intersect, I choose the 3D scanning here, I press OK, I choose all my cabinet, I press enter. Immediately the system subtracts. It detects the scanned object, and then you can see now my cabinet is smaller. So this is used a lot in the RV sector. The customized van, you scan the van, and then you can get the accurate cutout. So this is how companies now are using technology to reduce mistakes and help to be more productive. Okay? So other than this, so if you ask me what is the ideal case, okay, of course I'm selling Paita, but Paita is not the only CAD/CAM software. So the ideal case is that the designer produces in CAD, ideally in a CAD/CAM software, and the CAD/CAM system is responsible to generate the 2D drawing, the single drawing, all the machining files. Because when you allow the system to do that, what is one big thing? In a lot of companies, if you go to the company, can you remember what you do 1.5 years ago? Can you remember this chair that you make? A lot of companies say cannot, because they 2D they throw, after they produce, they throw away the drawing. But imagine if you digitalize your production, a chair that you made 2 years ago, you can actually just open the file and redo and re-export to the machine. So this is what we mean by also having a database and a record of what you produce. Okay? So Paita is also able to do a lot of more advanced things. So I'll just show you a little bit of example. Okay, so we are popular because we can do cabinets, yes, but we are able to do more advanced things. So for example, if I say I draw a curve, okay, so you can see this line. Okay, so I have a curve like this. Okay, and now I say ribs. I have panels coming here, right? But this is not interesting, right? So what happens now? You see, I drag in the sofa carcass. This is a panel. I say that this is the cross section of my sofa, my chair. I say edit. I select the chair. Immediately you get the seat, the sofa seat, right? And now you can easily say edit, and you can still move and change. So this is what we mean by in the current day, how a customer do this in Singapore. How they do? They go to the printer, they print 1:1, they put on the floor the shape. They use the plywood to bend, right? But you can actually skip all of that if you have a system and you draw. Okay, and now you can see over here, I have this back panel. Okay, I can say, please go and make it 2D. Click immediately. This is the flattened surface. So you don't need to bend and count. You can use that flat surface, cut to the size, and bend. So this is what we mean by using, again, IT, CAT, to help you in your production. Okay. So maybe one last example over here. If I have a wall like this, okay, like a feature wall, I can say edit. And maybe I do this. And you've seen this wall quite a lot. Now it's in trend. A lot of designers are doing it. So we can just click the wall, and now I can just pull the wall, have something nice shaped like this, right? And how does this become a feature wall? Okay, all I do is I say tools, I say line, and now immediately left to right, I can reduce the number of panels over here, and I say every panel 20 mm, and now you can see immediately you have like a wall design. Yeah, you can use this for ceiling trellis, you can use this for wall. So this is what we mean by we are not really just a cabinet system. We are more like a design system that you can use for cabinet and as well as products. So one last example I want to give you, which is a little bit like a live data. Okay, we have a customer that in Thailand that is using PyDA and also have sensors installed on the machine. So I want to show you how does it look like if you can merge the sensors with the project data. Okay, so this is a live view of a customer in Thailand now. Okay, as a boss, I log in. I get to see all my projects that's running. How they know? Because every PyDA file you create, you push to the cloud. Project A, B, C. So as a boss, you ask me what is the red and what is the blue? The red is how many panels we have to cut. Because remember, when you draw the cabinet in PyDA, you have 20 panels, right? So you know I need to cut 20 panels. Then this yellow one is on the software, we install it on the machine. It will read the name of the file whenever it cuts, and it subtracts. So now as a boss, I know that this project number 81.4% means still cannot start to assemble because production hasn't finished yet. Okay? Then you can dive down because remember I told you our system in carpentry we are very different, right? You got aging, you got cutting. So actually PyDA will tell the system how many panels need to go aging, how many panels need to go drilling. And then here you have a deeper data. Percentage that we need to drill, percentage that is drilled, and what is drilled already. And from this data you can tell, because for example, actual drilling is 286, but plan is only 143. What does this mean? Rework. Means the same operator ran that same part more than one time. Why? Because there could be a defect. So this is the data. Then together with the IoT, you get the efficiency of the machine, and that's how you see the full picture of what actually your project is doing and what is your machine doing. But of course, to get to this stage, you first make sure that you don't draw in AutoCAD or 2D. You have to first start to draw your design in a 3D system. Okay? So just to wrap things up, so in PyDA, I think in Malaysia we have over 9 customers. Singapore, most of our customers, because in Singapore during COVID, the government gave 70% grant for the software. So that's why we had. And then Japan is our second biggest market, followed by Indonesia. Okay, so the software is very easy to learn because I started selling PyDA since 2017. So imagine 5 years we grew to 140. If the software took very long to train, I wouldn't be able to sell so many. But the training only takes 4 hours training online to learn the software, and you can draw already. And then we do a 2 days machine integration training. So total actually just 4 working days, you can learn the software. Okay, but again, as I say, software is only as good as the software. If your staff don't have the correct mentality to learn, no matter how good I give you a car to drive, you cannot drive. So a lot of times we always say is buying the software is very easy, but it's the process of integration that is very important. Okay, so yeah, so we have over on YouTube, we have all the videos, training is done on Zoom, our support is done on WhatsApp. So definitely, we always say, if the customer is willing to digitalize, we are willing to walk with you the journey. Okay, even if it takes 1 year, 2 years, we will do it. Okay, but importantly is you need to have the manpower, and the company needs to have the desire to change and innovate. Okay, so I've come to the end of my sharing. So thank you, everyone. I think we get the questions later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron, for the enlightening presentation. Now, we will open the floor for question and answer session. May I invite Mr. John Chai, Mr. Arifin Yahya, and Mr. Aaron Wu to join us on the stage for the Q&A session. Kindly introduce yourself by stating your name and organization before posing your question.
Good morning. Good morning. Don't be shy. I think that's the usual case with Malaysian crowds, right? Everybody's shy, and then after that they'll come to our table individually and ask a lot of questions. There was another session that I attended before, where I got to meet some of the crowd before the event during the breakfast, and I got to remember their names. So during the Q&A, I straight away asked them by name. Mr. Lee, anything that you feel the woodmaking or the timber council, I mean, anything, what are the key pain points that you feel right now needs to be addressed, or maybe the audience might not be aware of, perhaps something to share, or maybe you can pose a question onto us that we can share back to the audience?
I think most of the systems impacts the system very well. But the only thing is, I think the cost will be, I don't know how much cost will affect that or not.
Sure. The light, I'm just going to talk about solution A, right? The light, because I think the light is easy to install and very easy to understand. The light, the unit, 10,000. Installation, everything all in, includes the first year of the server, the dashboard. So people say, hey, it's not cheap also, But then the next question you have to ask is, you are attaching to a machine that's worth hundreds of thousands of ringgit, right? If your efficiency is at 40%, I can shift from 40% to 50% per se, 10% extra. How fast is your ROI? You have to ask yourself, right? So, if you are still relying on human, I was just mentioning earlier to another gentleman, you're still relying on humans to get the data, pass the information to the manager, then the manager only summarizes it and pass to the boss. Wow, susah. Maybe after a quarter, your production reports, then you finally see your numbers and say, hey, how come my factory only made so much pieces this quarter? With this, you can see in real time. Then you know, for example, one, hey, John, you're working on the machine A. How come it's not operating? You can ask this question already. Then they have to quickly answer. So, ideally, all the status should be green. If it's yellow, there should be a reason. So, we can address it in real time. So, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's about the CAM system is actually it's not very expensive because if you can buy machines, P5 axis is cost you 7-6 700,000, then the system is only 15,000 US dollar, not ringgit. But you can see can be discussed, right? So actually, if you towards the digitalization, you need to transform from the traditional to the CNC, because if not, you will left behind. Right? We need to move forward. Either you like or don't like it. We need to follow the trend and what is happening today and in the future. Because later on, all the traditional carpentry and whatever that we are using by carving and so on. But we still need that for the finishing, yes. But in production, we need to all must be digitalized. And I hope that this make more understand on about the programming and CNC and do envisioning as well.
So for Paita, we have two different solutions. So we have from Heslo, we have two different subscription models. So first is subscription every month, and then the other one is you pay one-time fee and the software is yours forever. Okay, so if you talk about subscription, the lowest version is as low as 800 to 900 RM a month. Okay, the full version, meaning that the one that you pay one time and you don't need to pay us again, ranges from about 35,000 RM to about 70,000 RM. Okay, so that is for one full license. Of course, your second seat, third seat is lower. But usually for new companies, we always ask them, please go on the subscription. Because you see the journey to digitalize, I rather you use the money to hire someone, a manpower, to learn the software. And then after that, after it's stabilized, then you can decide to purchase the system. So we are very flexible in both, and we really want to help the smaller startups who are going into this journey.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I think the key point here is start small, right? Because a lot of people are like, hey, I spend this money, am I going to get my ROI? I still remember back in the day, people spend tens of thousands of dollars doing a website, a static website, and then they say, hey, this website, tak boleh pakai. Right? So I think a lot of people are wary of spending money when they don't see the ROI. So I think the key point here is spend as little as you can, try a pilot, like for example, the light, buy one light, put on one machine. If it works, then maybe you can extend to the entire production line. For example, maybe your factory has 5 production lines. Start with one line. Start with one machine. See if you can start to see the value. Right? I think the gentleman on my right mentioned that you have to start on the journey. Remember, like the first slide I said is industrial revolution. It's a revolution. If you do not follow, you'll be left behind. You'll be overtaken. The key point here is, I think one of the 9 pillars I mentioned was the system integration, right? Where you link up with everybody. You imagine, as a customer, you are linked to the factory where I make the order straight away. I know what's happening, right? Because you have all the data. You can say, customer A, I can commit. One piece I also can do. I can see my schedule because I have all the data. I can slot in. I can do for you. No problem. Compared to another factory, cannot have the data, don't have the visibility. You ask, hey, can you do this one piece? Oh, I'm not sure, I have to get back to you. So straight away, you're no longer competitive. So be part of the IR4 revolution, otherwise you'll be left behind.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wong. I'm from TV Furniture. Basically, we are cabinet manufacturer. So I have a question to Mr. Aaron from Paita. So just now, I looked at the whole system. It's covered from the measurement, then come up with the 3D drawing. It's still possibility to come up with the BOM and the costing, everything, right?
Yes, okay.
Then after that, it convert to the 2D drawing for manufacturing purpose. So for the, I would like to ask, would it come in the 3D, right? Normally we just draw the 3D, the whole thing. But for the hardware parts, I mean the minifix, the dowel, the hinges, all this, is it automatic generated by the software itself. Am I right?
So for the connectors, so we talk about connectors to
Yes.
connect, right? There is a system default, but what happens is during the training, we will help you and teach you how to set the rules customized to your company. Then after that, all you draw is the panel and you say automatic, and then it will put the connection automatically.
Let's say in between, then we do some editing on the sizes, right? The whole area will change by itself also, right?
Yes, correct. So you are able to say this rule, for this size panel that's 200, please put 2 dowel. When the panel is 600, please put 4 dowels. So you can put all these rules inside. So that's why we say, the more powerful the software is, it depends on your operator. So like when you first set up the system, if you are very detailed, you put in a lot of things, you actually have a very good system. But if you just put in 1 rule, 2 rule, no, it will take longer time.
So for my question just now, your software is come in the different modules. So like you say, like if I want the full from 35,000 to 70,000, right? So it's up to how many modules that I need, am I right?
Yes, correct. But mostly if you are just a cabinet maker, means you just do boxes for kitchen and wardrobe, the 35,000 package is enough. If you are doing sofa, short fitting, more complex things like I show you, curve, you need the full system. So we have a range of systems that depending on actually what you draw.
Sorry, I have another factory doing sofa also. But for the sofa parts, I still cannot figure out how the software can help on the, it cover the plywood, the wood frame, and it's cover the form and also the fabric outer cover. I don't know, it's still separate into few modules.
So for sofa, it will be mainly the frame. Everything that's made of wood, you will draw in Python. Then for a case like a seat, if you need the indent, and you need the curve of the leg, then that's where Python works with AlphaCam, because you need AlphaCam to do the complex machining. Yeah. So for your case, if you are doing chair legs and all this, there is 5 axis in the future, then you need Python with AlphaCam system.
Sorry, one last question. For integration part, the software and the machine integration part, so Python will help us to do the integration as well?
So for the simple integration where we say Python produce the data files for the machine to run, that one we will do with you, okay, and we do it for you. Then if you talk about higher integration, like just now I show you, integrating with IoT partner, so you can track machine run which project, that one then we will work together with the IoT partner to integrate that data together.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Jason Tan. I'm from Innova. I'm basically involved in flooring, but of course we have machines that can produce panels and all this. Okay, I'd just like to pose these questions to any one of you who can answer, because most of you are representing softwares from international companies, and you all are basically selling to all the regional countries. So I'd like to ask, because recently I was in Thailand visiting some furniture factories under the guidance of POMAC. So I'd like to know how competitive are Malaysian furniture industries compared to our neighboring countries like Thailand, Indonesia, or Vietnam, because even in our industry, in the flooring industry, we find that they are already ahead of us. Though we were much earlier, we were ahead of them. So what do you think of our Malaysian furniture industry? Are we lagging much behind them, or are we still ahead of them?
So this, but again, this is from my point of view on the customers that I meet in Thailand. So in Thailand, most of our customers are small to medium residential builders and also project builders. Okay, I would say the capabilities, the competitiveness, I would say would be quite similar. Because in Thailand, what they do is that a lot of them cannot afford new machines, so they buy a lot of second-hand machines, right? But one thing interesting is that for Thailand, they are very focused that they must do it automatically through software for some things. So they don't like to manually program the machine, because they say that if I have to manually program the machine, I need to rely on a machine operator, right? So they always want a software to program the machine for them, so that if the operator A, he only need to learn how to on the machine, start, stop, and clean the machine. Simple. No need to learn how to say this machine need to cut this side, this side. So that's what I see now. And a lot of Thailand customers that we have are all usually factory managers coming out from the bigger factories, now setting up their own factory. So they are all very aligned, and they understand what is automation already. And a lot of them are also now moving to the next step, because after they digitalize the design, a lot of them start to think. They say, if only I can look at my phone and answer my customer question, is that capacity? Yeah. So I would say, I think as ASEAN, as Southeast Asia, we are slowly growing. And I think one of the biggest push in all countries, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, even Indonesia, is down to skilled manpower and manpower. Okay? So what you want to do is digitalize, so that you take the skill of the skilled manpower in a way, because you put all the data on the system already, right? So the guy just press click, just say automatic, say go. So you don't need really to train too much. And that will be, in a way, our journey, I feel, that has in Asia, that we will start to train the younger people to use computers, to use system, so that it's digital, in a way, a digital form, and you can attract people to come, instead of standing on the machine and manually programming. So I would think that in short, I would think that for Thailand and Malaysia, from my experience, not for the mass production, but at least for the customized, we are still pretty similar, even like in Singapore also.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Tamizi from Flatpack. I would like to ask the three panels whether the implementation of industrial revolution or automatizing of the production, manufacturing, is it applicable for which stage of which scale of manufacturing that is suitable to be implemented, whether it's good to be implemented in small manufacturing, medium manufacturing, or it is very much efficient if we apply the larger scale manufacturing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what product are you making, right? If you're making a low cost rattan chair, then maybe you cannot do automation. But if you're doing a high value, customized single piece, and you have a lot of, you've got high mix, that means I'm constantly changing design, so we can do simulation, I can use automation. I don't need the skill of a carpenter that can, hey, see this and then I make this, see that, I make that. You've automated the whole thing already. So whether you're a small player or a big player, you have to ask yourself, what type of product am I producing? Can I charge this up? If I'm selling a single piece customized, 10,000, 20,000, of course, no problem. But if I'm selling mass market, cheaper product, maybe you cannot afford to do so. So it really depends on your business model.
I would say the first step, for example, if you have a panel saw, if your factory only has a sliding table saw, then no, you are not ready yet. If your factory have at least a panel saw or a nesting machine, so that's the first step. So nesting machine. Then the next, so first, of course, you digitalize your design. you produce. The part where you really need to consider maybe implementing an IoT is when you start to ask yourself, do I have enough production capacity? Do I need to buy a new machine? Or is my single machine enough? Then that's where IoT comes in. Because you can answer that question by having a sensor there, and you see that my machine efficiency is OEE is only 35%. Then that answers your question where I don't need to buy a new machine. I can just actually invest in people process to make my OEE higher. Then only when I max it out, then I buy the next machine. So I would say that would be my view on when you are ready for the 4.0 implementation.
May I know if there's any question from the floor to our speaker?
I'm Chu from Hong Kong. May I ask whether the Pida machine, now you're saying is mainly aimed for those kind of products. But I do a lot of this square solid wood. Is it possible to apply on this solid wood products?
So for solid products, then you need to use Pida with AlphaCam on that. So Pida design the product, then AlphaCam will do the machining for the product.
But for the machining, all are straightforward. Although I've got so many CNC, but I'm using the normal machine to do it.
Okay, so if it's a 3-axis machine, so later maybe you can show me what you do in the pictures. Then we can see whether do you need Pida or just Pida AlphaCam or just Pida. Yeah.
Straight and angle products, not many like curved products. I think mainly like outdoor furniture.
Then maybe Pida will be enough. Yeah. But maybe later you can show me your design. Yeah. But definitely even for that, then even for the IoT, the sensors, any product, I think you can try.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John Chan, Mr. Arifin Yahya, and Mr. Aaron Wu for sharing your valuable insight and perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Malaysian Timber Council, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to Mr. John Chan, Mr. Arifin Yahya, and Mr. Aaron Gu for their invaluable presentation. Before we end this event, I would like to invite Puan Rehan Abdul Rahman, accompanied by Mr. Lee Seng Tai, to present a token of appreciation to our three esteemed speakers. First, I would like to call upon Mr. John Chai from Regal Tech M. Sdn Bhd. Thank you, Mr. John Chan. Mr. Arifin Yahya from Global Electromech M. Sdn Bhd. Thank you, Mr. Arifin Yahya. Mr. Aaron Hu from Vita Asia Private Limited. Thank you, Mr. Aaron Wu. Thank you, Puan Rehan and Mr. Lee Seng Tai. Can you remain on the stage for a group photo? We would like to invite Mr. Mokhtar Muhammad Yaakob, Deputy CEO of LDC, Dato' Albert Lai, and Mr. Winston Cheng from MWFA to join the group photo.
thank you for attending our seminar. Can you self-introduce yourself and then share with us what is your comment, your thought on this seminar?
Okay, my name is Wong. I'm from TD Furniture Square Singapore, located in Ipoh lah. So for this seminar, I think it's quite good that we can gain quite a lot of knowledge about the Industry 4.0 lah. What everybody is talking about Industry 4.0, but not so many people really understand. It's cover 9 pillars, all these important of the why we need to move into Industry 4.0.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, thank you for attending our seminar. Can you self-introduce yourself and then share with us what is your thought, your feedback on the seminar?
Sure. Hi, I'm Eunice. I'm from White Industrial. This seminar is very good, and actually the topic are covered, and actually it's very challenging. Let us know that there are a long way to go. There are a lot of technology that we can adapt to improve our industry. I know it's costly, but at least we see direction where should we go. Yes.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for attending our seminar. Can you self-introduce yourself and then share with us what is your feedback and comment on the seminar?
Okay, thank you very much for MTC to organize this event. I think my name is Tamizi from Flatpack. I think this program is very much helpful for us to actually give a brief introduction about Industry Revolution 4.0. We are very much needed at this stage of this moment because to move forward, definitely we need to automatize everything. Our company at the moment we are partially automatized, but having this program, I think it helps us to facilitate even more how to automatize further in the production.
So that you can visualize, you
Yes.
can what is your future planning with all this Industry 4.0 technology?
I think we have from the input today, it's good to actually to adapt more inputs. There are 9 pillars of our industry revolution. So I think it's time to implement the rest of the pillars that we can plan ahead. That we see that from today's input, there are something new for the industry revolution. I think along the way, there are things that we can actually implement in the short term. I believe in order to fully automatize, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of machineries and experts. But I think there are low hanging fruit that we can actually adapt in our production.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, MTC.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, Sultan. So can you tell us, share with us, what do you feel about this seminar?
Hi, my name is Jason Tan. I'm from Innowar. I believe this seminar has given a lot of insight onto the development of IR 4.0 in relationship to our Malaysian, especially furniture industry. I think Malaysian furniture industry has basically been controlled or developed out of very much a family and traditional businesses. So, and with the globalization and competition around the world, I believe the industry, the furniture industry needs to revamp and revolutionize their machineries, their processes, and increasing productivity. So this seminar has been very timely, very useful, and I believe it has contributed a lot to our knowledge and what we need to do. Right? Thank you so much.